So, this time we're not going to do a reading of Old Pete's book, but we are on Chapter 8, The Wisdom of the Body. And I'm sorry for those who are disappointed, but we will be reading some extracts from it, because every time I try and read, like, the full thing, this video ends up being 2 hours plus just on this one chapter, right? I cannot underestimate how stupid this whole chapter is, and I'm going to be making separate videos just on some of the stuff he says in this one chapter. But let's do an overview, and this is in his words, that according to him, that this is what he calls the wisdom of the body. What exactly does that mean, he says? Part of the answer is probably not you are thinking. The symptoms that your body generates when it is sick are the prime example of the wisdom of the body. What? How can something painful be the result of my body's wisdom? Well, let's think it through. Remember, a symptom is how the body has chosen to compensate for the effects of some stress. Again, four humours, all about balance. And again, how many times do we have to say the theory of the four humours is wrong? You should not be trying to diagnose someone using that theory. It is a natural and spontaneous occurrence in that the body has generating of its own free will. The symptom may feel like crap, and usually does, but the wisdom of the body is it is the wisdom of the body that is creating it. Allopaths have been trained to deliver medicine to fight or repress symptoms that the body generates. So basically, the MDs are not treating you, basically, is what he's saying. In this regard, allopaths are of the opinion that they are smarter than the body, smarter than nature, so they pay little attention to the body's wisdom indeed. No, they pay attention to your illness, and they give you stuff that is actually going to treat you. Such a concept is not considered possible by them. I mean, how can an evolutionary lucky collection of biochemicals and electricity be considered wise? Right? When an MD treats a sick person, they deliver medicine in an attempt to overpower the symptoms that are generated by the body. Such is the worldview of the reductionist allopath. It also leads to the dead-end road of the treatment oblivion. And he basically goes on to say, as usual, blah, 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 MDs are bad. So what is his solution to that? Your body is generating symptoms. And as we've said before, this is all about four humours being in balance. So what would Peter, a naturopath, give you for this? Basically, he puts it like this. This is his viewpoint. Somebody gets caught in a cold, with a head cold essentially, and that he's putting that stress down to that rain. This is and that your body reacts by causing the symptoms of a stuffed nose, sore throat, low-grade fever, cough and headache. Those manifestations are the wisdom of the body. So instead of delivering medicines to suppress, i.e. antihistamines, anti-inflammatory meds, coughs and pain meds, an allopath would do a homeopath will give a medicine that increases the symptoms, making you sicker, making that fever worse, making that sore throat worse. Yes, you've heard it here, folks. Pete, if you go to him, will make you sicker to get you better. This is just absolutely ridiculous. It is so idiotic, it is unbelievable. Now, he goes on a rant here, which is absolutely brilliant, because he says that doctors are foolish. And this is his definition for calling someone foolish. He says, Webster defines idiot as an utterly foolish or senseless person. His supposition is quite straightforward. If there exists in the modern world a system of medicine practiced by licensed physicians which has been proven to bring about documented disease cure in clinical settings over and over again for 200 years, as a physician, I completely disregard, dismiss and condemn it without any intellectual investigation whatsoever. Would it not be appropriate for me to define as utterly foolish and senseless person? Now, he's making the case that the naturopaths have this naturally treated, best part of all of it, clinically a documented precisely disease in clinical settings. I want to make that perfect. As a naturopath, Pete has nothing. He has never done any trials. He has never conducted any studies of his treatments. He has nothing. So under his own definition, Pete is a fool. Yes, people, Pete admits in this book that the MD has no the MD Emperor has no clothes. A book so far basically bashing every single MD you can think of and other professions in the medical industry, calling them idiots and fools. Pete, under his own definition, is a fool and an idiot because A, he cannot provide any clinical studies or any actual evidence that his treatments, his naturopathic treatments, actually work. And it gets better. Because now he goes on to describe it, what acupuncturists and chiropractors do. So all have different treatments for the sick, yet each of their treatments is designed to strengthen some aspect of the wisdom of the body, admitting there that all these different types of these woo-woo professions are going to treat you differently, diagnose you differently, and not even have any evidence to back you up because, hey, they're all woo treatments. So, and he also makes the claim that the body can heal itself. Well, it can, but from a lot of the times, it may need help. Broken bones, for example, need setting. Now, he's already said broken bones do not need setting in this book. In fact, he said it last chapter. So, this is how he describes chiropractors. Chiropractors support the wisdom of the body by aligning the spine the way nature intended it to be aligned. This frees up and optimizes the nerve transitions that emanate from the spinal cord, therefore making the body work better. That is complete and utter nonsense. Your spine does not need to be adjusted for your body to work better. Okay, that is nonsense. In fact, there is a lot more evidence to suggest that chiropractors are linked to causing people having strokes. And I've already done a video on that. So, you know, the Chiropractor's Dirty Secret, that's what it's called. Go watch that if you don't believe me. Next one he looks up is acupuncturist free up the blocked energy referred to in their parlance as chi. What's blocked energy? Can you point scientifically and show that this thing as blocked energy actually works? No, you can't. And again, we're dealing with a quack who believes in this. And then the final one is naturopaths deliver immune stimulating herbs and clinical nutrition to the disease system to support the body's ability to fix itself. But as you've already heard, he will give you things that make the symptoms worse. What world are we living in where people think this guy is right? That's just absolutely ridiculous. A doctor will not go, I'm going to make your symptoms worse so it'll cure you. Now, out there are probably some diseases out there where that may be a thing. But again, I'm not a medical professional, so I can't tell you. But Pete saying that, oh, if you've got, the flu, then, well, we need to make your flu worse to make you better. That is absolutely ridiculous. And this is, as we've said, this is his philosophy. The next chapter is the law of similars, which again will go all over his medical philosophy, which is the four humours, all about balance. This is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely. Pete, for once, gets something right. He is an idiot, and I'll agree with him on that wholeheartedly. So, see you soon for Chapter 9, The Law of Similars, and that is going to be a long one. I make no apologies for that, because there is so much to discuss in Chapter 9, so much. I hope I've covered Chapter 8 sufficiently, but there's just... I may go back and redo it at some point, I don't know. But consider this the shortened version. If I do a longer version, I'll let you know. But hey, what an idiot. Seriously.